What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially under a week until we can finally go ahead and play the Open Arc Raiders playtest. I am so freaking excited. Well, not playtest. It's going to be more so a stress test for the overall servers for launch day. But of course, we still get to go ahead and try it out. A lot of players who didn't get to witness what it's all about will be able to see the true potential of Arc Raiders no matter what. Don't have to wait for a code. Don't got to wait for anything. It's going to be a great moment, guys. It's going to be awesome. But in today's video, we actually get to dive deeper into how they are going to be handling the wipe system within Arc Raiders. Again, for those who don't know, Arc Raiders is indeed an extraction shooter, and extraction shooters usually have to find ways to make themselves a little bit more repetitive when it comes to at least a longer time frame. And wipes help do that. When everybody has to restart all of their loot, all of their stats, it encourages players to come back and, it feels fresh again, enjoyable again. So, of course, Arc Raiders is going to have their own version of this wipe system. And, of course, in typical Embark fashion, it is very freaking unique. And to be honest with you guys, I wouldn't expect anything less from the team that put together the finals as well. One of the most creative FPS games we have probably seen in a very long time. It doesn't shock me that they would be able to come into the extraction shooter scene and shake some things up here as well. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go and dive deep, if you guys are interested in more content like this, don't forget subscribing to that bell. We post twice here, once at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, and also a second time at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And also, if you guys are interested in any of my live streams, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting at around 1 p.m. Eastern Time. But don't forget, guys, since this upcoming weekend is going to be the Arc Raiders stress test, we're going to be streaming on Sunday as well, a little extra additional day. So, guys, if you want to tune on in, find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as I was saying, the team over at Embark really want to go ahead and, make this a special game. And I can definitely respect that. It'll probably be a very safe route just to do wipes, your typical wipe, and when casuals are a little intimidated to hop back into the game because the sweats have all the stuff, there will still be a default day where everybody will go back to, ground zero and have to build their way back up, giving everybody an even playing field for at least some time, until the grind gets a little too hefty. But to hear that they want to change it around and honestly try to reward casuals' playtime a little bit more, I can respect that, and I'm willing to try out this brand new system. There's some good things in here, and there's also some things that kind of concern me that, can be worked on. But that's the good thing about this stuff, right, guys? At the end of the day, they can experiment with different things, and over the course of months, years, they can still go ahead and switch some things up and make it a little bit more friendly for the overall audience. But, guys, they, again, are trying to make sure this is going to reward your playtime. A lot of people don't like wipes because they don't have that much time on their hands to grind. And there's a lot of other games out there. So, when it comes down to it, yeah, having wipes is cool and it gets everybody to, the even playing field. At the same time, some players can't even get to the end game. And at some point in time, it becomes very demotivating because they just keep getting wiped. They'll get a quarter way through, they run out of time with their IRL stuff that they have to go ahead and get done. And, of course, they lose that quarter worth of progress, and it kind of becomes obnoxious and it pushes some casuals away. But in Arc Raiders, Embark put together something called the Expedition Project. And basically, this is going to be a way to allow the casuals to not lose their progression. There's no set reset time for everybody in the game. You can just go ahead and casually vibe throughout Arc Raiders, take your time, enjoy the experience, and eventually you will hit max rank. But for those who really want to grind and put in a lot of time and, they might get bored if there's nothing to do, right? If they're going to finish everything in the game. So again, there's going to be something called projects here. And there's going to be a specific project called Expedition Project. And this will actually be unlocked when you reach level 20. Kind of think of it as a prestige system in Call of Duty, but it's not the same exact thing. The whole idea is that you reach level 20 and you unlock this project and it will reset you back to, basically the beginning of the game, where you still keep your cosmetics and you still keep, the stuff that you purchased and earnables and all that stuff. But basically everything you have is going to be scrapped between, your inventory, your progression tree, your level, all of the important factors that you really grinded for will be reset. So you have to, work towards that again. And it feels, again, like a fresh start. But it has a little bit of a twist compared to a typical prestige system. Because again, when you get to level 20 and you unlock this project, you still have to go ahead and complete it. And they give you around about 8 weeks to complete this overall system here. Now, this is, where it becomes a little interesting. If you don't complete this system, you don't reset at all. So again, it's not mandatory, and you can still keep your progress towards a reset. It's not going to reset your progress at all. So when the next 8 weeks start, if you continuously keep on going, you can actually, realistically complete one of these expedition projects. It's not like every single time you're going to be reset and all your progress is lost, but you still get to keep your level and you get to keep your tree. But your dream of being able to prestige someday becomes irrelevant because you just don't have the time to do such. No, nothing, not even, like I said, the progress that you have towards this project here, the expedition project, nothing gets wiped. Let's say you finish half of it. That half will still stay, and you can complete the other half with the next wipe, and then eventually prestige. I really like this system. I think this is fantastic. It's a great way to get people involved, and again, it's just fantastic for casuals. Every extraction shooter out there, I mean, yeah, some are more casual than others, but the majority of them are very, very sweaty, competitive. You got to invest a lot of time. It's rough for newcomers to try to enjoy an extraction shooter like that. But here, this system is so casual friendly that I think it's going to bring in a lot of people to actually try out this genre and give it a true shot. And also, there's one last thing for this project as well. You can only complete it during the last week. So basically, if you complete it early on, you still can't reset. So it's a specific window where you're going to see a lot of people resetting. So it's going to feel like a wipe, right? It's going to feel like, okay, this period of time, we're going to see a lot of people going back to level 1 and, starting to grind again. It's not like it's going to be a complete random amount of players getting reset here and there. Like in the beginning, someone resets, in the middle, someone resets, Nothing like that. It's in the final section, the final week of the 8-week period that you will start seeing people taking advantage of being able to go back to level 1. Again, as I said, I feel like this gives you the same sensation and feeling of a wipe, while at the same time allowing casuals to take their time with a wipe. It's not forced, and it's not going to make you reset, and it's not going to make you feel like you're lost as well, because, again, you got to keep the progress of this project as well. But this right here is where I have a few concerns about this overall system. I don't think it's going to be awful, not at all. But I do think that, some incentives might not be enough. We'll see. But I'm going to read it word by word from the blog post here from the Arc Raiders, team. And again, I will leave a link to this overall post as well down in the description of this video if you want to read over the overall thing. But it says right here, benefits and incentives. We are still finalizing the exact benefits and rewards, but they will generally follow along these lines. Permanent account unlocks for each completed expedition, unique cosmetic rewards for each completed expedition, account buffs that are applied for the duration of the following expedition cycle, and sequential completions of the expedition project increase the magnitude of these buffs up to a limit. One point to drive home is that we are being very careful about the nature of these benefits. Completing a reset should never give a player a power or combat advantage over anyone who has not completed a reset. Initially, these benefits will center around cosmetics and bragging rights, quality of life, and smoothing out some aspects of progression for those who have gone through a reset. I completely agree with them though, man. 110%. You should never, ever, ever get a combat or power advantage over an opponent just because you went ahead and prestiged. Never. That should never be a thing. But I do worry that some of these rewards might not be enough to encourage players to go ahead and hit up this expedition system. You gotta think, you're losing everything, even the progression tree, and a lot of this stuff takes time to grind. It's not easy, and when you lose all these benefits, you're at a massive disadvantage to the rest of the people in the game. So why would I reset? There has to be some major incentives here to make me want to reset. Because, technically, I don't have to. I could just stay if I just want a PvP. Like, what's stopping a PvP player from just staying where they're at and just dominating lobbies with the best gear forever because they don't see any reason to level up? You see what I'm saying here? Me personally, I'm not going to do that. I don't find any fun in that in extraction shooters. The fun is going to be, again, resetting and, slowly building myself up again. But there's a lot. When I say a lot, there are a lot of players out there who would gladly keep the best gear in the game, have, all of the progression tree filled out so they have all the benefits, and just stomp out all the players. It'll probably be amazing for them when reset week comes through because they get to stomp a bunch of people who are going back to square one. So again, my question is, will the incentives be enough to actually encourage players to want to reset? Even the most PvP of PvP players, will it still encourage them to go ahead and go back to level 1? I don't know. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this overall topic. Do you think what they listed is enough, or do you think that there should be a little bit more here to get players on the roll of this expedition project. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. Post twice here, once at 8 a.m. and a second time at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And also, last but not least, I do stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I will be streaming on Sunday as well for the open play test or stress test for Arc Raiders. So if you guys want to tune into any of the streams, find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you all next one. Peace out.